Wir leben in einem Umfeld, in dem die Menschen blind sind. Was ich nicht weiß, macht mich nicht heiß. Aus den Augen, aus dem Sinn.
I saw it 35 years ago, the TV show, Belinda the Plant. 13-year-old child, black child, growing up in London in the 80s, and seeing this TV show was really kind of, it really kind of inspired me, because these women were being judged by their appearance and sort of being, just having a situation where the people were thinking they were not capable. And that was similar sort of environment that I was living, similar judgmental things which were put on me. So I really wanted, 35 years ago I saw this picture, it stayed with me. So 7 years ago I thought I really want to make this into a picture. It always sort of crept in there. So that's why it was important for me to make this film. But sadly, 35 years after I saw it, nothing's changed. You know, it's kind of bittersweet in a way. Well, I wanted to sort of set it in a heightened Western capital. And Chicago for me was that. You know, since before Al Capone, there was a situation of how criminality and politics kind of colluded. And the whole idea of racial sort of dynamics of Chicago, it's a very polarized town, Lithuanian, Polish, Italian, African-American, Latino. You know, everyone is so, it's such a segregated city.
Was ist passiert in dieser Welt, dass Mittelmäßigkeit jetzt als Vortrefflichkeit gilt?
I coined it as a metaphor to a train leaving a station and having to go from A to B. And on that train, there are passengers on that train having conversations, people sort of trying to deal with whatever they're dealing with. And by the time it gets to its destination, a lot of things have been resolved, but we're moving at the same time. We're not stagnant. We're not sitting gazing at our sort of navel. We're moving it around. We're moving. So as long as it's moving, and it's kind of thrilling in a way. Hans is must be one of the most sensitive human beings I've ever met. He's a very sensitive man. He's a very beautiful man. I think, you know, when you're that kind of person, you're dealing with music in such a way, you have to be open and sensitive. And he's such a beautiful human being. Very impressive. I always learn something from him, always. He's the strength and, you know, to be open is hugely vulnerable, and he always has to allow that to happen because he's making music. He's making abstraction notes with sound, and I think, you know, he's marvelous. Love him. I think it drives narrative. I think also that's very important. It's like a locomotive, like we talked about the train before. And we actually did talk about, I did talk about that with Hans. It's a very interesting point because, of course, in Chicago, there's that circle line, that line that sort of surfing navigates the city. And in the film, you always see a train. And for me, that always sort of indicated that the world was rotating, that life goes on. So you see the movie, you always see a train. And I used myself and Hans, I talked to Hans about the whole idea of the sound of a locomotive or sound of a train.